No.
How do you feel about this new rule?
It's just, it's just part of it. I mean, there's something else that, that you're going to have to stay up on because everybody's doing it. And, right now in the middle of camp, I hope kids understand if we're not retweeting and, doing all those things. And there's a time and place for it. The timing of the rule going into effect, I don't know how good that was, but September 1st, I think would have been a whole lot better for a lot of people when they're through camps.
Get your hands clean.
Yeah, well, that, now you're into the game week and the kids are in class during the day, and, we're not 16 hours worth on the schedule of meetings and, film and practice and all those things.
Do you have a plan for it when you ever do get a clear schedule? And will you just check in on guys you need to check in on? Or are you going to pull guys? Do you have any idea yet?
Well, no, not really. Obviously Ryan Dorchester and Casey, that's what those guys are preparing for right now. So, I'm sure they'll have a good plan. And kind of what we need to do, I would think, is, everybody in your area, make sure you're hitting your guys and then by position. And if it's defensive guys, I'm sure I'm going to reach out to them and try to do as much as we can. But the Twitter part of it hasn't changed. We've been able to direct message and all that. Now it's the retweeting and all those things.
Hey, Mark,
you ever think you'd be talking about this?
No.
Marvin's been around a long time and has been in a bunch of different positions. He hasn't really done great things that would distinguish himself there, but now you got him at the most important spot, maybe, and competing. I mean,
yeah,
chance, I guess, but for people who can't see him or talking too much, where is he? How is he? What does he need to do? What's he doing?
Here's the thing with Marvin. We actually talked about it last night. As a true freshman, Marvin was in our nickel package against Oklahoma State when they were 9 or 10 in the country and we beat them here. Marvin played a bunch. Then we go to Oklahoma and we lose a couple Spurs and we throw Marvin in the Spurs, a true freshman. We lose the game 16-9, but he played a bunch. So the kid's played. He's played on special teams the last few years. He's got some ability and he just needs to keep maturing and get stronger and all those things. So, he's learning. I think Coach Capone's doing a great job with him right now. I thought Marvin had a good spring. And he was a guy, like you said, in a critical position that you didn't notice a whole lot, which is a good thing.
Why Spurs? Because you could have built him into maybe a defensive end or rush end. You could have made him an outside linebacker.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's, you're talking 195 pounds, so it's hard to put him down there, and land the 300 pounders. But he's a guy that's athletic. I mean, he can run as good as anybody on our defense. And, so we like where he's at. We know what we got out of him. And, he just has to keep getting better and have a great camp.
And finally, Trayvon was telling me about long text message chains he has with teammates and the meetings they have. Not 7-on-7 stuff, but the drills they go through, which is, there's no off-season, it's kind of mandatory, it's voluntary, but what he did away from the field, I know it's only 2 days in, but can you kind of tell that that's accelerated whatever you need to have happen away from the spring and summer?
Yeah, the best thing for Draylon, what he went through the last 2 years with Carl and KJ, Draylon came in here at 18 years old, and as everybody knows, his first start was against Alabama in the Chick-fil-A kickoff classic. And he's been a kid that learned through some of the best guys I've ever had, as far as KJ and Carl, and now he's in that role, and he does a great job with it. I mean, he's a guy that's a leader on our defense. He's vocal, he works, and a guy like him is he's just taken off. And if you guys remember 2 years ago when we recruited him, I said, this is a kid that wants to be great. And, he's doing all the right things to have that happen for him. Now, we got a long way to go, but he's got all the qualities that you want in a leader. He's a good person, cares about the other guys, and helps the other guys. So, I really, really like him as a person, as a player. He's very mature. So, he's a special kid.
A few quick questions about positions. That chart, okay. We talked about Bruno's. Aren't, of course, started because of that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What happened the second game?
It's still whoever wins it, basically. They're both going to play a bunch. I mean, those guys both have experience, and they're both going to play.
Okay, and Mike, how's Furnace?
He's doing well. He's doing well right now. And again, it's hard to get a really good read right now just for the fact that we don't have the pads on. Hopefully when these pads go on, that we'll play a little more physical, and you'll start to see some things. I think that's when guys separate themselves.